great always to welcome new players and newcomers and players who will own the future, I would say. So it's great, yeah, to welcome Alexandra here in Linz in this special year, and it's also our first time that we play on clay.
On clay.
So
we know how the crowds are when Eala plays, wherever she plays in the world. If Eala's going to win this one, she needs to be patient. I reckon it might be a little bit of a struggle. Grabher playing at home and also with that experience on clay, I think might get her a set, but I think Eala's going to win in 3 in the end and get to that second round and take on Ostapenko in this.
Julia Grabher, an Austrian tennis player, expected something simple, something natural. When she learned she would be playing her first-round match on home soil, she imagined the crowd roaring for her, the cheers echoing her name, the energy of the stadium lifting her game to another level. But what is unfolding in Austria is the complete opposite of everything Grabher envisioned. And the shock written across her face says it all. Alex Eala is arriving in Austria, and the fans have completely taken over. Reports are now confirming that a staggering 90% of the tickets for the first-round match between Julia Grabher and Alex Eala were snapped up almost instantly after going on sale. And here's the part that makes this story truly unbelievable. The overwhelming majority of those tickets were not purchased by Austrian fans supporting their home player. They were bought by Alex Eala fans who have made it their mission to flood that stadium and transform it into a sea of support for the young Filipino tennis sensation. Grabher is playing on her home turf in her own country, surrounded by her own people. And yet, she is about to walk onto that court and feel like the away player. That is the reality she now faces, and no one saw this coming at this level. Think about what that means for a moment. Grabher has spent years building her career, representing Austria with pride, and relying on that home crowd connection to push her through difficult matches. Home advantage in tennis is real. The familiar surroundings, the supportive crowd, the comfort of playing in a place where people know your name and your journey. Everything is now gone. Instead, Grabher will step onto the court and hear the loudest cheers going to her opponent. She will feel the energy of thousands of fans willing Eala to win every single point. And she will have to somehow block all of that out and compete at the highest level. That is an enormous psychological mountain to climb, and it all speaks to just how powerful the Eala effect has become. Because make no mistake, this is not a coincidence. This is not something that just happened overnight. Eala fans around the world have been organizing, planning, and showing up in numbers the tennis world has never seen before. From a passionate fan base rallying behind one player, they are coordinated, relentless, and fully devoted to supporting Eala wherever she goes. In Austria, they have done it again. And the tournament is feeling the impact in every possible way. Tournament director Sandra Reichel has made no secret of how she feels about all of this. Reichel, who is overseeing the Ladies Linz Open as it celebrates its 35th anniversary, is absolutely thrilled about having Alex Eala in the draw. She has openly praised not just what Eala brings as a player, but what she represents as a global phenomenon. Reichel acknowledged that Eala is bringing attention, energy, and fans to this tournament in a way that is transforming the entire event. She has confirmed that Eala will be placed on the biggest court available and that the atmosphere surrounding her match is going to be unlike anything this tournament has seen in its 3.5 decades of history. Reichel even stated that she would personally welcome Eala to the tournament, recognizing the magnitude of this moment. For a tournament director to make that kind of statement publicly, you know something truly special is happening. And while Reichel is celebrating and the fans are flooding in, Grabher is watching all of this unfold right in front of her eyes. The attention, the excitement, the praise, the spotlight, everything is going to her opponent. Grabher is not getting a single headline. She is not getting the focus. She is being completely overshadowed in her own backyard. And that is a situation that would shake any competitor to their core. But here's the thing about Alex Eala. This is not new. This is simply the latest chapter in a story that has been building for months. Eala has been creating moments the tennis world cannot ignore all season long. And the fan base that has grown around her is unlike anything the sport has witnessed in recent memory. Earlier this year at the 2026 Indian Wells tournament, Eala made her debut, and the demand for tickets to watch her play was so extraordinary that prices skyrocketed beyond expectations. The result was $5 million in ticket sales from a single match, just one match. That number sent shockwaves through the tennis world and put everyone on notice that something historic was happening around this young player from the Philippines. Tournament organizers at Indian Wells were caught off guard by the sheer scale of demand. They scrambled to accommodate the crowds that had descended on the venue. Analysts began using a phrase that has now become widely recognized across the sport, the Eala effect. It describes what happens when Alex Eala shows up somewhere. Ticket sales surge, stadiums fill, the energy becomes electric, and the attention the sport receives skyrockets. From fan engagement to media coverage to economic impact, the Eala effect is real. It is measurable, and it is growing stronger with every tournament she enters. On the court, Eala has been just as impressive. This season, she has been in outstanding form, defeating players of the highest caliber and proving that her talent matches the enormous hype surrounding her. One of the most talked about results came against Coco Gauff, one of the biggest names in women's tennis right now. The fact that Eala is competing with and defeating players of that level has only intensified the excitement around her and given her fans even more reason to rally behind her with everything they have. Jessica Pegula, one of the top players on the WTA Tour, gave a candid account of what it feels like to face Eala in a tournament setting. Pegula had played in packed stadiums throughout her career, so she walked into her match against Eala at the Miami Open expecting a competitive atmosphere. What she experienced was something entirely different. The crowd energy was unlike anything she had felt before. The fans were not just watching the match, they were living every single point with Eala, reacting to every winner, every rally, every moment with intensity and passion that Pegula described as insane. She noted that no matter where Eala plays, whether it is the Australian Open, the Dubai Tennis Championships, or the Miami Open, the crowd support reaches levels that most players never experience in their entire careers. If a player of Pegula's experience can feel that impact, imagine what Grabher is going to feel walking onto that court in her home country and hearing those roars directed at the other side of the net. It is a scenario that very few players in tennis history have ever had to navigate on home soil. The economics are being watched closely. Ticket sales are being analyzed. Crowd numbers are being counted, and every single metric is pointing in the same direction. Alex Eala is bringing something to tennis that goes beyond wins, rankings, and results. She is bringing a movement. She is inspiring a level of devotion and enthusiasm that is transforming tournaments and changing the conversation around the sport entirely. Grabher has a fight on her hands unlike any she has faced before, not just against one of the most exciting players on the tour, but against an atmosphere, an energy, and a wave of support that shows no signs of slowing down. Austria expected a home crowd moment. What it is getting instead is an Eala moment. And those, as the tennis world is discovering week after week, are something truly unforgettable. What do you think about the incredible phenomenon that Alex Eala has created in tennis? Have you ever seen a player generate this kind of fan devotion so early in their career? Do you think Julia Grabher can handle the psychological pressure of playing in front of a crowd overwhelmingly cheering for her opponent on her own home soil? Can Grabher pull off the upset and silence the crowd? Or will the Eala effect prove too powerful even within Austria's borders? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is a conversation the entire tennis world is having right now.